Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskaram to one and all. This evening, we are having a Navarathri program with various leaders from our community. We will first start with a short pratna before we hand over to the convener. Om Agnim Ile Purohitam Yagyasya Devam Ritwijam Hotaram Ratnadhatmam Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangapada Kramopadishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Danavastit Tatkatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navida Surasuragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Thank you, everyone. I would like to now hand over to the convener, Yashika ji. Yashika ji.
Namaste. Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and welcome to another edition of Dharma Samvad. Our host was meant to be Anita today, but there is some technical difficulties, and we hope she'll be able to join us a little bit later. But on the lineup today, we have some very interesting guests, and thank you, Panditji, for sharing that beautiful prayer with all of us. So first up is Mala Lakshman, and she doesn't need a lot of introduction because she's a household name in the country. She's a well-known author, a linguist, and an award-winning personality in the country. She's also a DJ on Lotus FM. So welcome, Malaji.
Vanakkam, Namaskaram, Namaste, and thank you for that lovely introduction, and Navaratri greetings to all our viewers.
Navaratri greetings to you as well and to everyone in all parts of the country. We know it's been COVID-19 and it has not been very easy for Hindus to celebrate this wonderful and glorious festival. But some temples have started, and we're going to find out a little more later on when we cross to the Radhasham Mandir in Midrand. But Malaji, you are here in the country. You've been working together with the community, with various linguistic groups. But there's something particular when we celebrate our Navaratri celebrations from the south of India. Can you share with us a little bit about the elements and, of course, some of the unique features that we have during this time?
Thank you so much. Thank you firstly for the opportunity. Hinduism, since time immemorial, we have believed in the Artana Iswarar image of the deity, where Sivan shares one half of the divinity, and the Shakti is the other half, and both Sivan and Shakti complement each other. So, if Lord Shivan is the atom, we need Lord Shakti to activate that atom. She is the energy. So we have been revering the female aspect of divinity for a long, long, long time. So Navaratri is just another period, a very joyful and very illuminating period for us to appreciate, respect, and enjoy the female aspect of divinity.
That's wonderful and amazing.
From a South Indian perspective, I think we also the festival of Navaratri transcends linguistic barriers, and whether it's in Telugu or Hindi or Tamil, all of us share the same respect and accord to this festival. So it does not belong to any particular linguistic group. But coming back to your question about the way we observe it here in the South African context, we will have Abhishekam and Alangaram, which is the beautifying of the deity, and then a Prasad, an Naivedyam that is offered. Unfortunately, due to Corona, I think, like Pandit Ji had said earlier, you have large numbers in the temples. But we are confined to smaller numbers. But thanks to online platforms, we are able to share this information and knowledge with everyone.
Absolutely. And one of the key features we know in India, and especially in the South, which is not a tradition in South Africa, though, is the making of these Golu dolls. Do you know anything about it and why it was important to actually have these dolls?
Yeah. It was during my student days in India when I observed the Navaratri with the families around the university. And then I found this to be such a beautiful feature of Navaratri. And I said, sadly, it's not being practiced here in South Africa, where there's a pedestal set up, and you'll have the deities or the different images of the divine placed on these pedestals, but also you'll have images of a farming community, a farming life, or you will have an image of a wedding and a get together. So this feature reminds us, firstly, to invoke and instill in us the divinity, which all of us have in us. And we just need to tap into it. This is a constant reminder. Also, the different levels of this pedestal also reminds us of the different levels of our spiritual elevation, and how we should reach that height of spirituality, only which we within us can do with the help of the divine. But it also is a time for celebration, for social cohesion, to forget all barriers like cultural, religious, linguistic barriers. All the families get together and they celebrate this time. So for me, that was a beautiful way of observing and celebrating. And the kolu itself, the little dolls or the images, are beautifully made and are made especially and sold for, during this period. So you can choose your favorite Ishtadevam, for example, your favorite deity, and bring it along to the family that's observing the Navaratri and place it on the pedestal. But there's also a cycle here because the Navaratri takes place in a different home every day. This was pre-COVID. And so you could bring your kolu and place it on the pedestal of maybe your neighbor's house if they're hosting it. But you could also bring your own neivedyam, your own parsad. And so it was a beautiful way of even the families getting together. And through this, also showing the youngsters the hoary features of our cultural and religious heritage.
Absolutely brilliant. And I think our ancestors knew that through metaphor, storytelling, and even through art, we'll be able to convey so much of scientific knowledge. And it's so
Absolutely.
interesting
And
to
that is,
find, and it's interesting to find
sorry.
that
Yes, you
no,
can.
no, that's perfectly fine. That these depictions have been carried through from age to age, from family to family. And it comes to my next question. Do you think that Navaratri has a special place for women? And what is the message for women during this time?
Like I mentioned in my intro, it is Shakti worship, and Shakti has a very important part to play in our holistic uh, concept of Hinduism. There is no, there is nothing without Shakti, and I think also our forebears were so at such great foresight by observing festivals like Navaratri. It shows the respect that we revere to either any woman, be it your mother, be it your daughter, be it your sister. And, when we look at this observance of Navaratri and the respect that's accorded to women, and it's been there from time immemorial. And if we just followed all of that, we won't have problems currently like gender based violence, etc. We've just completely lost the plot. And that is why festivals like Navaratri are there to remind us of the beauty of a woman, of the respect you should accord to her. But at the same time, the woman must conduct herself in such a way that she gets this kind of respect as well.
Absolutely. I think respect works both ways. And we've seen even through COVID-19 the difficulties women faced, where they were under lockdown, but also the rate of gender based violence, increased tremendously. Don't you think Navaratri then has a special message to share about nurture, care, and protection of women?
Absolutely, and I think we misconstrue a lot of things when we exclude women especially from ritual worship in Hinduism. And I think this needs to be addressed. Women need to be more actively involved in the ritual aspect of Hinduism in a temple. Like she must be allowed to go into the Mulastanam, for example. So I think these things need to be addressed. But having said that, I find it's very encouraging. We're finding the youngsters now who are coming on board and
I think we're losing you, Malachi.
and we need to apply to that
Okay,
apply
there you
to
are.
our lives, our current day lives. Yeah, I think we need to
Absolutely.
also give our children the significance of the festivals like Navaratri and how we can apply it to our present day lives.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was brilliantly said. And I really appreciate all your thoughts and wisdom in
I
tonight's program.
I just want to add, yeah, I just want to add that if Corona has taught us anything, it is to be kind and to be caring, and just for me, the big word is respect. And women deserve this, and women earn your place, so that you are respected. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's brilliantly put. We'd now like to cross to a beautiful mandir in Midrand, the Radhe Shyam Mandir, with Pandit Kirit Bhai and two young kids, Dhurva and Purvi. Are you there? Namaste. Oh, they look beautiful and resplendent. I think the mic is, the sound is off.
Jai Ambe. Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di. Welcome to the program. Can you tell us a little bit about what is happening there?
So we are right now here at the Radhe Shyam Mandir, and we are
Yes.
pleased to show the viewers of Dharma Samvad the live darshan and the vibe and atmosphere of Navarathri 2020. Since we all know, due to COVID-19, we couldn't really enjoy Navarathri, but Radhe Shyam Mandir is the only mandir this year who is celebrating Garba. We are all following safety precautions, the rules and regulations. We are all wearing masks and following the given social distancing. We are now going to do live darshan. Let us now do live darshan.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. And we're now going to enter the mandir and see a little bit of the Garba. Wow, that looks very interesting. Well, I think it's so interesting to find that during this time that people can actually celebrate their festival in such a beautiful way, and also observing social distance, because you could see it's not too much of crowds that we used to see every year, but the fact that the prayer areas bedecked, Mata Rani is celebrated, and the flowers are there adorning her. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But also the colors, and Hinduism is full of color. Every color has a symbolic meaning, from green of the Mother Earth to the saffron color of the spirit of sacrifice when one journeys from one stage of life to another, to eventually achieving that oneness, which is white, which is the symbolic meaning of white. And that too is in the flag of Bharat Mata. And we're so grateful that the nature, the energy space of what Mother does is encapsulated in the Garba. The Garba is, as you can see, it's circular because it symbolizes the womb of creation, and everything comes out. It's part and parcel of nature. It's part and parcel of Mother. With that being said, I'd like to continue with our guests in studio today, and I'd like to go to Pandit Shane Maharaj. Pandit Shane doesn't need too much of an introduction. Also, he's been involved with worship for many, many years, and is currently the resident priest at the temple at the University Hindu Center in Westville in KwaZulu-Natal. Panditji, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Prem Namaste ji, and to all our friends in the studio.
Thank you so much and welcome. Panditji, in the North Indian or Hindi-speaking community, there are particular rituals that are performed during Navaratri. Can you share some of the prayers, and what does it mean when certain types of food, certain types of elements are used in worship?
Yes, ma'am, surely. First of all, let's just honor the Supreme Mother. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Jai Mata Di. Navaratri to us, as you mentioned, the North Indian community, is just like I'd like to what Mala Ji said. Similarly, we do the same, okay? Our tongues might be different, but the procedure, the worship is the same. In Navaratri or any one puja, Ganesh Ji Bhagavan is always invoked. first of all, as you all know. And we do Ganesh Ji Puja, and then we do the Kalash Stapana Puja. And you know, the Kalash Stapana Mala might call it the Kalso. We say Kalash Devata in the name Brahm and Vishnu and Mahesh. Creation, preservation, and dissolution. That's the power that is God. But here, of course, in Navaratri honors that same power in the mother figure. Not only in Navaratri, every single day of our lives, we should show equal respect to this mother, because as all of us have come to realize, even the arrogant people, that without mother there is no home, there is no universe, because the Mata must be honored not only in Navaratri and at home, please, day-to-day life, we need to show respect to the Supreme Mother. So when it comes once a year or annually, as we say, we need to worship this Mother in the Navaratri period and also throughout daily life. Those of us who have lost the mothers and other loving, dear females that we knew and shared life with will understand what I'm saying. You know, the old cliche, there is no home without a mother. It now hits you right where you live. There is definitely no home without a mother. So we need to worship with passion this Navratri Puja that we all observe. So after the Ganesh Ji and the Kalash Puja, then only do we welcome or invoke first of all the Matas. And as we all have understood, Navratri obviously means 9 nights. But without the day there is no night, and without night there will be no day. So if we're worshipping and calling Navaratri, let's explain it and say day-night festival is the Navaratri Puja. So we invoke through the murtis. The first 3-day phase of Navaratri is the Durga Ma phase. The second day, and of course we're currently in, and also I might add that the Saraswati Puja has already kept into the 9-day festival. So the second day, 3 days is Saraswati Ma, and ultimately the Lakshmi Ma, and the
Lakshmi.
third 3 days is the Saraswati Mata phase. So we have Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. We have preparations made in order to observe this festival, because in a normal situation, Yashika ji and all friends, we spend so much of time preparing. Let's say we're having a birthday, let's say we're having a centenary celebration or whatever. Look at the time and effort some people put in there simply to observe these material happening in our lives. So with more zest and how you say oomph, let us observe this mother worship, because without this mother worship or without God generally, there is going to be no festival as such. So we need to observe with equal amount of love, devotion, and sincerity. You know, we say Shraddha, Bhakti, Badao. Increase your faith, increase your bhakti, meaning devotion, and worship Parampita Paramatma in this festival that we have.
That's wonderful. Some of the ingredients in the actual puja itself, like dhar, for example, what is the meaning behind it? And also, people observe saltless during this time. What is
Yes.
the meaning behind these norms?
Meanings would be the same no matter what you observe. Love, faith, devotion. Saltless, people go saltless with the love and faith and devotion that they have, because they understand, and it's more like a mindset, and of course a positive attitude. If you believe that we're observing saltless fast and it's been helping me, obviously the help is there. It's natural, man. Although there is no hard and fast rule that you have to go saltless. There are people who observe all 9 or 10 days saltless. There are people who observe 9 or 10 days with salt, meaning vegetable, food, and etc. So it's all in your faith and devotion. Your belief is that I've been observing this puja for 9 days without salt. It's been helping me. Isn't that belief is positive? Isn't then that the health comes and the belief continues that that is how I should be observed? Your
That's
other question
amazing.
was, sorry,
Yes,
ma'am,
on Dhar.
Dhar. Okay, Dhar, I to more in relation to the youngsters who might be tuned in, Dhar, I would say, is a coolant or refreshment, you might call it. Mata was involved in battle after battle, and as we all know in our Durga Saptashati, where Madhu and Kaitam, okay? Then we have Mahishasur, and then we have Shumb and Nishum, Raktbij, Chandamun, evil demons, and the battle was non-stop. There again, it will show some of our people, if not all of the people, how powerful Mother is and worshipping, doing Mother worship every other day of our life. So the dhar, which incidentally is made up of, we call sringaberry leaves, bakain leaf, okay, and camphor, cloves, hardy sticks that are ground, all are ground together, elaichi, camphor, clove, and mixed with water. Milk is added. A lovely ladle full of sugar is added. Milk gives it such a beautiful finish when it's all done and mixed and offered. The Mata, if you read the Durga Saptashati, kept taking swigs of drink. We call it drink, we call it nectar. I like to call it nectar. The dhar is a nectar that Mata had, and it gives you that sort of courage, motivation, strength, etc. Because this battle was no play. It was a tremendous battle, especially with demons like Raktbij, who was like buffalo, Mahish himself, buffalo is the meaning of that name, and they could change forms any other time in during the course of the battle. That is why the Mata had to have this. And we, the devotees, over the years, it's been carried down. Let's prepare and offer this dhar or refreshment or coolant for the Mata to enjoy and continue the battle. There is one stage, Yashika ji, and generally, dear people, where when Mata was in battle with Mahisha, okay, Mahishasur, obviously Mahish was his name, Asur was added because he was a demon, so that Mahishasur. And as is typical with some male folk, they get very strong when they fight a woman folk, they perform, they tend to be very strong. So the Mata says, you can perform, you can growl how much you want. When I drink my sweet nectar, I will destroy you. So we offer honey as the nectar that Mata spoke about. And when we offer the honey to the Mata into the Havan, by the way, in the fire, when we're worshipping Mata, we light fire and do constant Havan with that. So when we offer that and Mata, we must think, we must believe that our offering has gone to Mata, the battle resumed, and obviously she destroyed Mahishasura.
Absolutely. And the journey, of Navaratri isn't just something that is to be taken literally. Rather, it is deeply, deeply symbolic. But at the same time, it marks the progress of an individual on his journey towards realization. And thank you so much, Panditji, for such beautiful words of wisdom. One last question, and I think I mentioned it to Malaji earlier on, is the role of women. And we just wanted to find out, is there any aspect or part of the prayer where there's a distinction between unmarried women and married women? We see a lot of these, maybe superstition perhaps. Can you clarify that, especially with regard to the prasad?
People who propagate such stories should be sorted out, Yashika ji. This is called arrogance. Yes, it is called arrogance. What is the difference when we worship male Pope Mata, whether the devotee is married or not? If you will remember or you know already, during the Navarathri festival, we have Kanya Puja.
Mm.
We worship the 9 little mothers from day 1, age 2 to 10, right, Yashika ji and
See.
Mala and all of you listening in. So if we worship those mothers, little pure mothers, with prasad, you all know we worship the mothers, washing, clothing, door, we garland them. We offer a specially prepared prasad. So if we can give to these beautiful, wonderful, pure mothers prasad, why differentiate here on the ground? Okay? Everyone should be treated equally. It is arrogance when these individuals say, no, we cannot give prasad to this child, but we can give to the family. It's not on, please. We need to stop this kind of behavior.
Wow. Thank you so much, Panditji, for clarifying that. I think, unfortunately, some of these things have been carried on from, decade to decade. And I think the young people today want logical, scientific answers when it comes to our puja. Up next is a very special guest. His name is Nagaraja Garela, and he is from the Telangana Association of South Africa. Namaskaram, Nagaraja.
Namaskaram, Yashika ji.
Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being part of this wonderful space of wisdom, inquiry, and also learning. And I think all of us in South Africa are learning so much more because we are meeting with people like yourself and people from different parts of India that we may not necessarily have known. And you come from the newest state in India, which is Telangana, which is also part of Andhra Pradesh. And I wanted to know, what is the type of celebrations that happen during Navaratri at this time in India?
Okay. Namaskaram. Thanks for giving the opportunity. Vijayadashmi wishes to all. Telangana is the youngest state in India. In Telangana, we have multiple festivals. Mainly, we do Bonalu, Batukamma, Dasara, Ugadi. So, when coming to Navaratri in Telangana, we call Vijayadashmi. Vijayadashmi is a festival that symbolizes the victory of good over evil. In Telangana, we have multiple temples of Durga Mata. In Warangal, we have one, and also in Basara. We have like Ashta Dasha Shakti Pitas in Alampur, Jogalamba temple. During, as you mentioned, Yashikaji, our community in South Africa, we worship during Navaratri. We do prayers for 9 nights, different Mata avatars like Mahishasura Mardini, Bala Tripura Sundari, Raja Rajeshwari, Annapurna, Kali, and Kanakadurga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Gayatri Devi. We do our worship during Navaratri, Yashikaji.
Oh, that's very beautiful. What I also wanted to know is that there's a very special time happening now in the Andhra community. Before I go to that, but are there any shlokas that you'd like to share, or or what are some of the scriptures that one would read during this time in India?
Normally we have coming to Durga Navaratri Puja, we have some books. So while doing the prayers, we follow those books to read the chanting.
Okay. And I suppose during this time when we recite the name of the mother, it's recited in order to experience peace and inner wisdom. And more importantly, I think there's a sense of glorification to the Divine Mother during Batukama prayers. Can you explain a little bit more about that, and why is it happening now in India and in South Africa?
Okay, coming to Batkama, we do during the Navarathri time. Batkama means Mother Goddess came alive, and the festival represent the culture and spirit of Telangana and symbolizing the pattern goddess of womanhood. The festival is also regarded as the spring festival of goddess Gauri, and there is an interrelation between Navaratri and also the Batkama. Batkama festival mainly is a floral festival. The floral stalk is arranged in a unique style in shape of like a temple, which usually consists of seasonal flowers having medical values. Okay, when we do any puja, we offer flowers to the god. In Telangana, we do puja to the flowers during this Batkama festive season. Yashikaji.
That's beautiful. I was privileged to actually be part of an experience, and I saw they had thousands and thousands of flowers, all done in a circular fashion, and people then walking up to the stage. Is
Yes.
it? Are these flowers? As you mentioned, they're obviously in season and they have like medicinal qualities. Is it because it provides a cooling nature to the body, and from a health perspective?
Not really. What was happened during olden days, for example, if you have lakes, right? If you during that seasonal, they used to have some viral infections coming. By using these flowers, we play Batakama and we pour the flowers into the lake. So normally in olden days, people used to drink the water from those lakes. So that medicational value will purify that water and they will get the water to drink. Okay.
Wow, that's
And
beautifully put.
coming to the query you mentioned, how are we going to celebrate in South Africa? Before Telangana partition, our celebrations of Batkama, we used to do internally. After Telangana formation, our community formed a organization called Telangana Association of South Africa. We are doing Batkama in a very bigger scale. I think you also participated in one of the Batkama festivals.
Absolutely. And I found it absolutely enjoyable because it brought together not just families, but communities as well. And it also shows an integral relationship between man, nature, and the divinity. And Hinduism doesn't separate that. It's ultimately a part of the oneness, the entire oneness principle. One of the questions I was going to ask you is that in the state of Telangana, your minister is doing a lot of work to enhance temples and temple worship. Why is temple so important in the life of Hindus? And tell us a little bit more about what your minister is doing, KCR.
Yeah. So our Telangana Premier, Chief Minister is K. Chandrasekhar Rao Garu. So our Chief Minister took an oath as a Chief Minister in Telangana. After that, he focused all of the ancient temples to modify and more convenient to the devotees. In Telangana, for example, if it comes to Yadadri, it's a ancient famous temple known for Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Swami temple located in the hills of Yadadri. He specially focused on it to make comprehensive spiritual center for the state of Telangana. So likewise, they are focusing on Vemulavada, where we have Sri Rajarajeshwar Swami, and also Sitarama Bhadradri area to improve the areas to make more devotional and also spiritual centers in Telangana. Yeah, I would like to mention one more thing. And coming to Yadadri temple, it's going to in a very larger scale. It can also equal to the Tirupati Balaji temple in future. I'm just giving the scope how it's gonna grow. Okay, thank you.
All right, that sounds amazing, and it shows that there's so much of work being done by the state and by the people. And I think it's a big lesson for many of us that when the state becomes closer to the people in celebrating their rituals and their heritage, it makes a community more confident in themselves. Nagaraj, one more question is about the celebration tomorrow. Please, can you share with our viewers what's going to happen tomorrow?
Okay, so tomorrow, our young state Telangana is important for handloom industry, and also it is famous for Pochampalli, Ikat, Gadwal, Narayanpet, Gollabama saris. So tomorrow we are celebrating with the handloom saris. Our women, they play within our community, they play Batkama wearing those saris. The importance is we want to promote handloom across the globe, including Africa continent. So this is our first time to promote our handloom saris. At the same time, we play Batkama tomorrow. As we are TRS NRA South Africa team, we distributed within our community few saris so that they know, and also we play Batkama tomorrow internally.
That's absolutely beautiful. So, can you share a little bit more about the handloom saris? Because not everyone is aware of how it's made, etc.
So handloom sarees specific to, I'll mention one area in Telangana. It's called Sirisilla, where they make the sarees. Normally we can see power looms. The sarees will make automatically in the power generated machines, but they make the sarees with hand. So it will be made of some specific fabric, and yeah, so they made with the hand. That is the specialty of the handlooms. And also I did verify in South Africa also we have some handloom textile industry. So maybe by promoting these handlooms in South Africa, there may be a bridge between India and South Africa specific to Telangana textile industry. And our minister KT Ramarao Garu is focusing more on textile handloom industry to promote globally.
That's
Thank you.
absolutely brilliant. That's fantastic. I think if we can revitalize the art and culture of our different traditions, it'll help to grow communities, and more importantly, it'll build relations between our continent and India. Thank you
True.
so much, Nagaraju, for that very insightful conversation. I really, really appreciate that. So,
Thank
up
you.
next, we are going to cross to Marlborough. But before we do that, I would like a message from Malaji. We've listened a lot on from Pandit Shane. We've listened from Nagaraju on the deeper significance of the festival, and especially when it comes to the youth and women. What is your message for the youth in South Africa? What is the takeout that we can share from today's programs with them?
Thank you, Yashika. Firstly, I want to say a very, very big thank you to Panditji for the way he projected the aspect of the Kanya Devadis, and talking about whether it doesn't matter whether you're married or unmarried, and women's participation. I think coming from a spiritual point of view and coming from someone as esteemed as Panditji adds a great value to what we've been saying all along. And Nagaraju, thank you so much. You really, really took me through to a journey to the Telangana. So thank you so much for that. I think what's happening, Yashika, is our children are getting more involved in our religious beliefs, in our spiritual elevation, and the parents, of course, it all depends on us, and children emulate behavior that the parents do. So it is the duty of the parent to ensure that there is this kind of spirituality in the house, in the home. It starts there. So as a result of that, the child begins to become more inquiring and begins to also automatically become part of this journey. But they are asking very, very pertinent questions, which we cannot give. We have to make it scientific answers to them, and we also must also make it practical, and show how it applies to everyday life, and show them that the mythology behind all of these rituals, the mythological stories, where they are told in ancient times to illustrate the significance. And even if you look at, it's not like God flying in the sky on a horse. Not that kind of image. Which we must break those kind of myths, but bring it down to the children's level and make them apply it to their everyday lives, showing that God is the universe. If He's riding up there in the sky, He is the universe, and without Him, there will be no universe. So that kind of message we
Absolutely.
need to take to our youth.
I think that's amazing. That's absolutely brilliant. And Panditji, from your side, the take from this evening's program, do you find that youth will play a pivotal role in upholding our culture? We just had a look at Purva and Dhruva a few minutes ago, and we're going to see them a little bit later. What do you feel about youth and Hinduism in South Africa?
Man, the youth, I think some people, if not most of you people, need to come to our University Hindu Center and take a look at the youth we have and who grew up, who were literally born at our mandir and who are still there. We have a band of youngsters who sing, they're playing baja. I know lots of people do that, a lot of children do that, but these kids are special. They are soaked in it. And of course, you all know that Mala mentioned parents, right? Now I'm saying as parents lead, children will follow. From a small age, they need to be taught, like doing your daily, light your lamp daily, do your annual worship, observe festivals. More importantly, go to satsang, because Krishna Bhagavan himself said satsang is the highest form of God worship. So the youth of today gets involved. They're so young, they can't do it themselves. You need to push them. That is you now, the parents or the elders who must motivate these kids and do it. Now the parents can only do that if they themselves are satsang minded, if they themselves believe in the religious activities that we are observing, so that the children can see how serious the parents are taking their religion, their puja or our puja. Let us then get involved. Now I'm sure, earlier on we spoke about resurgence. Ask us, people like me, we're on the ground, we go different homes daily. Children are getting involved because big people are now getting more educated. And once we get rid of these people who propagate no females must do this and do that and do that, our lives will become better. The youth will be even more interested. Thank you, Yashmi.
Vijay Ho, Panditji. Thank you
Jai
so
Mata
much
Di.
for that. Oh, Jai Mata Di. Thank you. It was brilliant to have such important speakers and such enlightenment, I think, in the program, because it demystifies so many things that we've taken for granted. Up next,
We're
we are
starting
going
from
to
there.
Marlborough Radhisha Mandir with the beautiful Purva and Durga. There they are today, and they've got some people to share what the beauty of the evening, as well as the dancing and the singing. So over to you guys. Are you there?
Namaste.
Namaste,
So we have some
namaste.
volunteers who have decided to answer some questions for us. This is
Oh,
Mr. Nitin
excellent.
Soma. He's a volunteer of Radhisha Mandir. So, Mr. Soma, what security measures are placed to ensure maximum safety of the people and devotees?
Okay, so the first thing that we did was that we ensured that we limited the number of people doing Navarathri. And so the idea was to ensure that we count each and every person that comes in. We ensure that everybody wears masks. We also have to make sure that everybody gets sanitized. And we have marshals that go around to ensure that we compliant with the process in terms of all the COVID rules. We try not to encourage people to shake hands or to be very close to each other. So those are the processes that we put in place. And we hope that the people all enjoy the Navarathri the same Mahavira. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Madhvi. She is also a volunteer.
Namaste everybody. Happy
Namaste.
Navratri to you all. As you can see, that all the Navratri festivities are around, the decoration at the Radhesham Mandir, and I'm sure you can hear in the background the Navratri going on. So yeah, this year it's not in a big scale like we normally have, like we normally used to, but it's in the smaller scale. But we are really enjoying it. We feel that Mataji is blessing us, and we feel so blessed to be able to have Navaratri go in a smaller scale and keeping all the protocols, making sure we all are wearing our mask and keeping our distance and being really, really safe, but still really, really enjoying. And I must especially say thank you to Radhesham Mandir, Guruji, Kiripai, and all the members for allowing us to have Navaratri and enjoying this festival. So yeah, we are very, very thankful, very grateful, and we feel so blessed. Jai Mataji.
Jai Mata Di.
So our next speaker is Ms. Anuvarya.
Namaste, namaste everybody. Jai Mata Di. Happy Navaratri to everyone.
And she's gonna tell us the importance of the colors in the. She's gonna tell us the importance of the color codes that we are sticking to in this Navratri festivity.
Okay, so every Mata has his own color and each color has its own significance. So the 9 days we celebrate of Navratri, it is so powerful because we know the strength and power of Mataji. And I'm getting goosebumps while talking about Mataji because each and every day you feel so blessed. We dress up according to the dress code, we dress Mata according to the dress code. So yeah, according to Hinduism, they say every year the dress code changes, and that's according to the tithi of the day. And because we know, as we know, every year the Navratri, the days change. Some months, sometimes it's in October, sometimes in November. So according to the days, the tithi changes, and as the tithi changes, the color change, and we dress according to the codes. And yeah, we love it. I just love this festival. My whole family, we make sure we dress according to the dress code. We dress our Mataji according to the dress code. And yeah, we feel so blessed. Thank you so much to Radhesham Mandir and to Kitibai Guruji and the whole group member and the chairman and the trustees. Really blessed to be part of Radhesham Mandir. Thank you.
And our next speaker is Ms. Kajal, and she is going to tell us how she feels about doing Garba, enjoying the music, about the decorations.
Namaste. Wow, at Radhesham Mandir, that's Marlborough, it's absolutely amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. The lights fantastic. The atmosphere is amazing. And during this Navaratri time, where the COVID is so intense, it's so wonderful to be at the Radhesham Mandir in Marlborough because they are preserving the culture that they're in a very wonderful manner. The atmosphere is absolutely wonderful. The decoration is amazing. And if earlier you saw the video, it was of the mother. And to do this every day is absolutely amazing. It's a wonderful experience. And the mother has a big national organization, definitely. So thank you very much. And namaste.
And namaste. So the final speaker is me and my brother. And we are representing the youngsters of Radhesham Mandir. So we are really, really happy that we had the opportunity to continue doing Garba even in these dark times. And we really hope as youngsters that this dark time goes away with the energy and with the powerful strength of Mataji, and she listens to our prayers as we dance around.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. It is absolutely wonderful to see the youngsters today taking the lead and going ahead, using technology and allowing that space to pervade during this wonderful festival of Navaratri. You know, they always say we worry about the youth and what is happening in our environment, but I think the youth are teaching us so many lessons. They're teaching us to speak truth to power, and they're also teaching us that they want the science behind the ritual and the science behind the festival. And from times immemorial, Hinduism has provided us with this ample opportunity. We just need to open the book and then gain the knowledge and the wisdom. Thank you everyone today for coming along and for being part of this amazing, glorious festival. We have a few minutes left, and I would just like maybe Malaji or Panditji perhaps to share. And Malaji, maybe you could share a little bit about the message for the youth, because I think it'll crystallize the experience that we have had today, bringing all together from the north, the south, the east, and west of India, coming home in South Africa to Johannesburg, meeting these young people. What are your thoughts, very quickly? Malaji.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I think we've lost contact, and I'm not able to hear what you had said.
Okay, are you able to hear now? All right, I'll come back to Mala. We've just got 3 minutes. Maybe Panditji, you've watched the evening's proceedings. You've seen what was happening at the mandir. Do you think that the youth in South Africa have the ability to change and to become far more integrated in Hinduism?
Most definitely, ma'am. Like I said earlier on, the kids are kids, okay? They can understand so much, but not more. Now you've got to have motivators behind them, and those are the parents or other elders who are behind them, or our Panditjis at their satsangs. They are the ones who are going to keep these kids interested. Talk to them, reality in kids' language. Not like some people who say, no, you can do this, but you can't do that, and you can do that, and you cannot do that. That's going to chase the children away. And going by what we see and what we saw tonight at the Radhesham Mandir, they got to keep these children going. You've got to have some people behind them to motivate them, so to speak, and when they're doing prayers, to explain to them what we're doing, why we do it. Example, washing, clothing, torch, garland, etc. These kids must learn step by step, and that makes them more interested so that they can follow up. And I think we're on to a good thing here for our future.
Thank you so much, Panditji. It was wonderful words of wisdom. And Nagaraju, what do you think about the youth today? Very quickly, in about a minute.
Okay. Yashika ji, my message to the youth, as we came from an ancient traditional culture, wherever we are, we must follow our culture and tradition to keep up our culture and follow our tradition continuously to grow. That is my message to the youth. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Sweet, short, simple, and absolutely marvelous. Mala, are you there, or I might have to wrap as soon as possible? Can you hear me?
I don't think so.
All right. But thank you, everyone. Thank you to all my guests. Nagaraju, namaskaram. Thank you very much for joining me. Malaji and Pandit Shane Maharaj. We really appreciate a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you all. I would like to hand over to our host, Lakshpai, to do a closing prayer. Thank you. Namaste. Your sound.
Namaste, Yashika ji. Thank you very much for an excellent job in bringing together all the speakers, and to the speakers themselves for the excellent work, and to Marlborough Temple for participating remotely and showing us everything. I'd like to end the session now, as we are running short of time. So thank you to all our speakers. Take care. Namaste.
Namaste.